focus is the ongoing LPG crisis in India. As tensions rise in the Strait of Hormuz, the big question for India is simple. How vulnerable are our energy supplies? The answer lies in the numbers. A significant portion of India's LNG and LPG imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical energy choke points. Nearly 60% of India's LPG demand is met through imports, and about 90% of those shipments transit this very route. So any disruption here has the potential to push crude prices higher, increase shipping risk and tighten supply chains. However, the government says that there is no immediate cause for panic.
You know that we import almost 60% of our LPG, and most of it, almost 90%, comes from Strait of Hormuz. So it's a difficult situation, but government is making all efforts to ensure that the supply to the domestic consumers is ensured. As I already said, that the refining LPG production in the refinery has enhanced. We have almost 25,000 distributors throughout the country, and we deliver almost 50 lakh cylinders on daily basis. On the distribution side also, no dry out has been reported, but there is a manifold increase in the booking because of the panic. We urge the citizens to avoid panic booking, and all efforts have to be made to conserve the fuel wherever possible during this period of global uncertainty.
Now, officials have assured that India's domestic production capacity and diversified import sources provide a cushion, and that efforts are underway to ensure uninterrupted LPG supply to households. The government has also asked citizens not to panic buy cylinders, even as bookings have risen sharply amid global uncertainty. To maintain supply stability, coal allocations to states are being increased, alternate fuel options are being activated, and priority supplies are being ensured for hospital and essential services. Meanwhile, the Petroleum Ministry says that domestic LNG production is being maximized to reduce pressure on imports. And now government says that India's strategic oil reserves and diversification of energy imports across 40 supplier countries have transformed its capacity to absorb global energy shocks. And this resilience has ensured that there is no energy crisis due to the disruption caused by the Iran war. Well, as LPG crisis continues, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas of India is assuring its citizens.
India's crude supply position is secure, and volumes secured exceed what the Hormuz would have delivered. Before the crisis, approximately 45% of India's crude imports transited through the Hormuz route. Thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister's outstanding diplomatic outreach and goodwill, India has secured crude volumes that exceed what the disrupted Strait of Hormuz could have delivered in the same period. Non-Hormuz sourcing has risen to approximately 70% of crude imports, up from 55% before the conflict began. India sources crude from 40 countries as against 27 in 2006 and 7. This structural diversification, built through sustained policy over successive years, has given us options that other nations find themselves without. Refineries are operating at high capacity utilization. In several cases, they are exceeding 100%. There is no shortage of petrol, diesel, kerosene, ATF or fuel oil. The availability of petrol, diesel, aviation, turbine fuel, kerosene and fuel oil is fully assured. Retail outlets across the country are stocked and supply chains for these products are functioning normally. Additional allocation of PDS kerosene has been issued to all the states. Natural gas supply has been managed through prioritized allocation, and the position is stable, well beyond immediate need. India produces approximately 90 million metric standard cubic meters per day of natural gas domestically. A further 30 million metric standard cubic meters per day was previously imported through Gulf sources, now affected by the force majeure declaration of a major Qatari processing facility. The force majeure declaration, the Natural Gas Control Order issued on 9th March 2026 under the Essential Commodities Act established an immediate priority sequence. Domestic pipe gas goes to home and CNG for vehicles receives 100% supply with no cuts. Industrial and manufacturing consumers will receive upon 80% of their previous 6 months average.
As a temporary demand management measure, the minimum gap between LPG booking has been increased from 21 days to 25 days. At field level, OMC officers and anti-adulteration cell are coordinating enforcement to clear distributor backlog and ensure smooth delivery. अंत में मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि ये एक वैश्विक चुनौतीपूर्ण स्थिति है, लेकिन भारत की ईंधन आपूर्ति नियंत्रण में है। सरकार स्थिति पर लगातार नजर रख रही है और घरों और प्राथमिकता वाले क्षेत्रों की सुरक्षा के लिए आवश्यक कदम उठा रही है। हम नागरिकों से आग्रह करते हैं कि वे घबराकर बुकिंग करने से बचें, अधिकारियों के साथ सहयोग करें और वैश्विक अनिश्चितता की इस अवधि के दौरान जहां संभव हो ईंधन का संरक्षण करें।
And now Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking on the effects of West Asia war, said that the Indian government has already made every effort to ensure that the burden of the war's consequences doesn't fall on Indian citizens. And when the Russia-Ukraine crisis escalated, fertilizer prices skyrocketed. Despite this, we provided our farmers with a bag of urea for rupees 300, which used to cost rupees 3,000 in the international market. He said that this time too, we will make every effort to ensure that the war has minimal impact on the lives of our farmers and citizens. He said that I request the state governments, it's essential to prevent black marketing and the spread of rumors. Therefore, careful monitoring of the situation is essential. Major action should be taken against those engaging in black marketing. There's a lot of discussion these days about LPG. Some people are trying to create panic and pursue their own agenda. I don't want to comment on them politically at this time, but I will definitely say that by doing so, that they are exposing themselves to the public and causing significant harm to the entire country.